Hello dear students, a very good morning and welcome back to the class. As you know, we have covered up the chapter, it is on the verge of completion. This is the last lecture, you can say. Here we are going to do the question answer session from the chapter electromagnetic waves. So let's start doing that without wasting much time, because already we have covered, we have gained so many knowledge about the electromagnetic waves. So let's start doing the question. Question number 1 to 4 has been categorized into 1 mark question. So we do not have to go into the detail, we are just going to give the answer according to 1 mark, to the point. So the charging current for a capacitor is 0.25 ampere. What is the displacement current across its plate? I want you all to tell me the answer, because I know I have already taught you very clearly that if we are having a capacitor as a circuit element, then in that case conduction current is going to be equals to the displacement current, that is IC is equals to ID. So if IC, that means the conduction current, IC is 0.25 ampere, and we know the conduction current is equals to the displacement current, IC equals to ID. So here your displacement current is again going to be 0.25 ampere without any doubt. Okay. So displacement current is 0.25 ampere. Okay. So the next question. Arrange the following electromagnetic waves in order of increasing frequency. We have been given the gamma rays, microwaves, infrared rays and ultraviolet rays. In the previous lecture, I told you a short trick to remember which will be having the higher frequency and the corresponding lower wavelength. So what was the trick? We are going to repeat that. I told you that Rummy, let me write in capitals, Rummy works good, or you can write it as Rummy works good. Here your R, A, M, I and corresponding terms are representing some particular wave or ray. So this is radio ray, this is nothing, just Mi. Here Rummy is corresponding to RMI. After radio we are having microwaves and then infrared waves and then visible, UV, X-ray and then the gamma ray. So see, these are the mnemonics that you have to learn. I told you a trick, Rummy works good. So RMI, Rummy works, VUX works, G stands for gamma rays, that is good. Okay, now I told you that the frequency will be increasing from left to right, whereas your wavelength will be increasing from right to left. So this is wavelength and this is frequency. Now go back to the question and just see what they are asking. Arrange the following electromagnetic waves in order of increasing frequency. So firstly we are going to write the one which will be having the least frequency, then another one, then another one. So one will be having the least frequency will be, see the frequency is increasing like this. So first of all the radio wave, is it available? No. After that we are having the microwave, is it available? Yes. See the answer is first of all microwaves, then after that infrared, available? Yes. So infrared. After that we are having visible, any visible ray? No. Then UV, UV present? So yeah, UV. Then after that X-ray present? No. After that we are having gamma ray and there I can see the gamma rays present. So your answer will be this. the increasing order of frequency. First of all, microwave, infrared, UV, and then gamma ray. And see how easier the question becomes if we know this formula, if we know this trick. Similarly, you are going to see number of questions. Okay, then move to the next question and see what they are asking. Question number 3. Identify the different types of electromagnetic radiations which are used to kill germs. Now, as I told you, the different types of rays and their applications. So, these two are just the application of two waves, two rays that is used to, first of all, to kill germs. So, I must tell you that gamma rays are used to kill the germs. So, the answer is gamma rays. Now, secondly, for physical therapy. So, that you have to understand for physical therapy what type of waves you are going to use. I think I should tell you that we are having number of things before us. Even you can write number of waves over here, because for physical therapy not only one single wave can be used, but here because they are asking to write only one, so we are having infrared rays which will be used for physical therapy, because infrared waves or infrared rays are used to relieve yourself from the muscular strain. So, that is why we can say it is used in physical therapy. Okay, next question. This was just the application, and these are 1 mark questions. So, 1 markers can be given only one word answer. Question number 4, which says that which of the following has the shortest wavelength? We have been given three waves: microwaves, ultraviolet X-ray, ultraviolet rays, and X-ray. So, again come back to this, what we have to tell, the shortest wavelength. So, see, the shortest wavelength will be starting from here, because on this side the wavelength is increasing. So, the shortest wavelength will be of gamma ray. So, is gamma ray available in the options? No. So, then after that we are having X-ray. Is available? Yeah. So, X-ray, it is having the shortest wavelength. Then we are having UV. UV present? Yes, UV. Okay, and then after that visible? No. Infrared? No. Only the microwave present. So, this is microwave. So, see, in the question we have been asked which of the following has the shortest wavelength. So, you know the series order. So, you can tell which of the following has the shortest wavelength. Which among the following has the shortest wavelength? So, answer is directly the one which is X-ray. So, the answer of this question is X-ray. Okay. Now, move to the next question. Question number 5. Okay, so now question number 5 to 7 are the 2 mark question, which says that how does the oscillating charge produce electromagnetic waves? So, this is a theoretical question that you have to understand. I am going to write it for you. I remember I told you that how do the electromagnetic waves are originating. I told you that EM waves are originating from the accelerated, or you can say oscillating charges. So, we can say oscillating charges produce oscillating electric field. And then this oscillating electric field will cause I am writing the electric field as EF. So, oscillating electric field will cause the magnetic field. Now since the magnetic field is present, your magnetic field will cause see, I must tell you that first of all oscillating charges are doing what? They are producing the oscillating electric field. After the oscillating electric field has been produced, we are having the oscillating the magnetic field. After that, the magnetic field will cause the oscillating EMF. And then the oscillating EMF will cause oscillating magnetic field. Magnetic field and so on. So this is how, if this process will go on, this is how the EM waves are being produced. So in the question we were having, how does oscillating charge produce electromagnetic wave? So this is the process. First of all, it was oscillating charge. Oscillating charge. It produced the oscillating electric field. And the oscillating electric field produced the magnetic field. This magnetic field has caused the oscillating EMF, and this oscillating EMF have produced the oscillating magnetic field. This is how we can say that EM waves are being produced by this process. Okay. So the theoretical answer of this question is this that I have written on the board. Now the second part, which says that sketch a schematic diagram depicting the oscillating electric and magnetic fields of an EM wave propagating along positive Z direction. So let us make that. We know that the EM wave travels perpendicular to both magnetic and electric field. So we are going to draw that. Okay, so directions you have to keep in mind. We have been given magnetic fields of an EM wave propagating along positive Z direction. If the magnetic field is along positive Z direction, consider this as Z direction where the wave is propagating. This is X, this is Y. Now see, this I told you number of times in the class when I was taking lecture. Now here, this is your electric field, this is your magnetic field. Similarly, if electric field is going, this will now be your electric field and this will be your magnetic field. Now similarly, if I will be making another loop, that will show you again this will be your electric field and the another one will be your magnetic field. So this is how you are going to show the structure, or you can show the diagram of oscillating electric field which is moving perpendicular to both electric field and magnetic field. Okay, so we are done with this question. Now we will moving to the next question, that will be the question number 6th. These are 2 marks question. Okay, so we have to tell how are X-rays produced and write their 2 important uses. Since it is a 2 mark question, so first 1 mark will be of how X-ray is produced, second mark will be corresponding to the 2 uses. So again you are going to give the short answer, because Don't think that it is a 2-mark question, so you have to write too much, because the question has been categorized into 2 different categories, 2 parts. So you are going to give 2 equal weightage to both the parts. How are X-rays produced? I told you that X-ray was produced when the fast moving electron strikes the metal target surface. When the fast moving electron strikes the metal target surface, X-rays are produced. Second part of the question, which says what are the 2 uses. So we can say first use is, it is used in radiotherapy. You can write any uses that you know. Don't think that only these 2 are the uses that I am writing over here. There are number of uses, the applications of X-rays. And okay, second use is, it detects or it is used in determining the crystal structure. Crystal structure. It is also used in determining the explosives. So these are 2 uses, and this is the origination of the X-rays. So take a note of this, and then we will be moving on to the next question. Okay. So now here you have seen the 2 uses. These are the 2 uses. It is used in radiotherapy. It is used to detect the crystal structure, or you can say it is used to study the crystal structure. You can write in both ways. It is used to study the crystal structure as well as to detect the crystal structure. Okay, so now let us move to the next question. Question number 7 says, a capacitor of capacitance C is being charged by connecting it across a DC source along with an ammeter. Will the ammeter show a momentary deflection during the process of charging? If so, how would you explain this momentary deflection and the resulting continuity of current in the circuit? And write the expression for the current inside the capacitor. So we have read the question, and now we are ready to answer the question. So first of all, read only the first part till here. A capacitor of capacitance C is being charged by connecting it across a DC source along with an ammeter. Now the second line, will the ammeter show a momentary deflection during the process of charging? Till here. So the answer will be yes. It will show a deflection during charging. Or you can say the ammeter will show a deflection. So the answer is yes, the ammeter will show momentarily deflection. Second thing, if so, how would you explain this momentary deflection and the resulting continuity of the current in the circuit? So let me tell you, the current, first of all, the cause of the deflection. Why is the ammeter being deflected? The cause of the deflection is the conduction current which is flowing across the connecting wire. So we can write the deflection is due to the conduction current in the connecting wires across the plates of capacitor. Now see, if the current is flowing across the plates, there will be definitely an electric field. So we can say the charge is being collected at the ends of the parallel plate capacitor. So, charge is collected at the ends of the capacitor which cause the electric field to generate in this circuit. So, the electric field is in increasing nature. So, we can say which will cause the electric field in the increasing nature. So, now since the electric field is present, there should be a deflection in the circuit in the ammeter. And now the second reason, because the electric field is present across, or you can say at the sides of the capacitor. So, there will be a since this is the time varying electric field, there will definitely be a displacement current within the gap of the parallel plate capacitor. So, we can directly write this time varying electric field. I am writing the electric field as such. This time varying electric field will cause the displacement current to flow in the gap of parallel plates of capacitor. Okay. So, now we have been given the reason, we just have give the reason to the question, will the ammeter show a deflection? Yes. And what is the reason? The reason is that displacement current is flowing in the circuit and it is maintaining the continuity in the circuit. So, the question which is written over here, we were the resulting continuity of the current in the circuit. This we have to tell. How would you explain the momentary deflection and the resulting continuity? So, we can say that the resulting continuity is due to the displacement current, or further you can write displacement current to flow in the gap of plates of capacitor. This will cause the continuity of current in the circuit. So, now we have given the answer of the question. Now, write the expression for the current inside the capacitor. They are talking about inside the capacitor. So, inside the capacitor, which kind of current is flowing? That is displacement current. And what is the expression for displacement current? ID equals to epsilon naught d phi e upon dt. That means time varying electric field is causing the displacement current to flow. This is the expression. Okay. So, the question has been completed. We should move to the next question, question number 8. Now, question number 8 to 10 are 3 marks question. There are 3 markers. So, we have been given 2 parts in the question. We have to prove that or show that this term is equals to this term and this term equals to this term. So, let us consider the first case. A equals to, the A part, E naught upon B naught under root mu naught epsilon naught equals to C square. So, we will be starting the question by doing the left hand side of the question. Left hand side is E naught upon B naught under root mu naught into epsilon naught. Now, see, we know that C equals to 1 upon under root mu naught epsilon naught. So, in place of mu naught epsilon naught, I can put the value as C. Further, one more thing that we know is E naught upon B naught equals to C. So in place of this, I am going to write this, or E naught equals to C into B naught. This is a 1, sorry, so this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. I am going to put equation number 2 and 3 into 1. Putting 2 and 3 in 1. So what we are left with? We will be having left hand side equals to E naught. In place of E naught, you are going to write C into B naught divided by, now see, this 1 upon under root mu naught epsilon naught is nothing but C. So we are going to write C over here. Now see, this is C, B naught cancelled, and this is C is again going to be cancelled. So that means left hand side is not coming to right hand side, or that means directly we have attempted any mistake. So we are going to correct that mistake because we want the answer to be C square and not to be cancelled. Maybe we have put the value into wrong manner. So in place of B naught, we can put C upon E naught. So I can do one thing. In place of B naught, I am going to put now C upon E naught. What I am doing? In place of B naught, E naught upon C. So this is E naught, C will go upwards. Now since 1 upon mu epsilon naught is nothing but the total as C. So in place of 1 upon epsilon naught, I am going to write at C. So these two are cancelled, we are left with C square. That means left hand side is equals to C square, and again right hand side I can see is C square. So now we have proved, we have shown that left hand side is equals to right hand side. Okay. So you can check your mistake by own, if, because this is a question, this is the question where you have to show that this left hand side will become equals to right hand side. So if you are not getting the same answer, then you have to directly correlate that you have attempted any mistake in attempting such question. So you can check by own in such kind of question. Now second part, which says that n equals to we know that if we talk about the refractive index, so refractive index is V upon C, okay, or you can say C is 1 upon under root mu naught epsilon naught, whereas if I talk about the velocity, it is nothing but 1 upon under root mu epsilon, where these two are the relative, the absolute permeability and absolute permittivity in the free space, and these are in some material medium. So velocity is in certain material medium, this is this in speed of light in free space. Okay, now we are going to put these values into this equation. So we will be having, I did a wrong thing, this is C upon V. Now when you are going to put these two values, this is 1, 2, 3, putting 2 and 3 in 1, you will be having n equals to C, that means 1 upon under root mu naught epsilon naught multiplied by 1 upon mu e. So that is this. So you are left with 1 upon, or directly you can write it as like this. Now see, these mu naught upon mu naught and epsilon upon epsilon naught, these are nothing but the relative term. So mu upon mu naught is mu r, relative. Epsilon upon epsilon naught is epsilon r. So we can put this value. So we will be having n equals to mu r into epsilon r. So this is our left hand side and right hand side which we have proved and which we have been given in the question. N equals to mu r under root mu r into epsilon r. Okay. So this was the question which we have done. Now we are going to move on the next question, which will be the question number 9. Question number 9 says, light from a lamp hanging from the ceiling of a room is falling on the billiard table of area 1.5 meter square. If the light energy falls from the table at a rate of 2 into 10 raised to the power 5 watt per meter square for 1 hour, then we have to find the radiation pressure on the table due to the falling light. In the previous lecture, I told you that what do we mean by the radiation pressure, and that is what we are going to find over here. So first of all, we have been given two things. Area has been given as 1.5 meter square. Rate of the light falling has been given as 2 into 10 raised to the power 5 watt per meter square. Second thing, time has been given as 1 hour. So if you are going to convert this into seconds, it will be 3600 seconds. We have to find out the radiation pressure. To find out the radiation pressure, we firstly have to find out the energy. So the total energy falling on the surface will be rate multiplied by area multiplied by time. So multiply these three terms. Rate is 2 into 10 raised to the power 5, area is 1.5 and the time is 3600 seconds. So when you are going to multiply, you will be having 1.08 into 10 raised to the power 9 joule as your energy. This is your total energy. Okay, you found out the energy. Now you can find out the momentum related to this energy. When you are having energy, you will be having the momentum, and you can find out the total momentum as P equals to U upon C. So U is nothing but the total energy. I can write over here, this is nothing but U. So U will be equals to 1.08 into 10 raised to the power 9 divided by 3 into 10 raised to the power 8. So when you will be solving it, you will be having 3.6 kilogram meter per second. Are you guys able to see this? Okay. So this is P, that is momentum. 3.6 kilogram meter per second. This is your momentum. Now since we are having the momentum, we can easily find out the force and then pressure. You know that the formula for force is momentum upon time. So apply this to find out the force. P upon T. This force is nothing but the force of the light falling on your body. Okay, firstly understand the question what they are asking. You can find this easily. They are saying that light is falling on the billiard ball table. Now since the light is falling, I told you the light pressurize. Light is pressurizing because the energy is falling, so it is having the energy, it is having the momentum, so it will showing the pressure. That pressure we are going to find over here. So if we have reached up to a point where we have found the force, we can easily find the pressure by applying the formula, that is pressure equals to force upon area. So force equals to momentum into time. So momentum is 3.6 simply multiplied by time, which is 3600. So it is simply coming out to be 10 raised to the power minus 3 Newton. This is your force. Now since you are having the force, find out the pressure. And in the question we have to find the pressure only. So the pressure exerted by the light on the table will be equals to force upon area. Force is 10 raised to the power minus 3 and area is 1.5. So solve for it, you will be having the pressure with you. So if you will be solving it, the answer will coming out to be in the range of 6.67 into 10 raised to the power something. So you can go for it and you can find out the answer. I am not going to write the answer for you, you just have to do by own. So this is simple as that. You are going to find out the pressure, that will be your answer, that's it. Okay, so we are done with the question. Now the next question, which says that okay, let me tell you the answer so that you can do by your own and find out the answer and check it whether it was correct or not. So it is 6.67 into 10 raised to the power minus 4 Newton per meter square. This would be your answer. So do the calculation and check it out. Now the next one. The oscillating electric field in a plane electromagnetic wave is given by this particular equation. The frequency of electric field is 2 into 10 raised to the power 7 Hertz. Find omega, lambda and k and write expression for electric field. Here the spelling of field is wrong, it should be field. Okay, so we have to find the omega, lambda and k and write expression for electric field. So first of all, we are going to find the omega. See, the equation has been given as Ex equals to 60 sine omega t minus kx, and we have been given the frequency as 2 into 10 raised to the power 7 Hertz. Now see, when you are having with you, you can simply say that this is nothing but E naught. So you can directly write it as E naught equals to 60. Now second thing, we know that the formula for omega is nothing but 2 pi into frequency. So if we are knowing the formula, we are having the value of frequency, you can do one thing, 2 pi multiplied by frequency, that is 2 into 10 raised to the power 7 Hertz. So your frequency will be 4 pi into 10 raised to the power 7 Hertz, or the radian, because this is the angular frequency that we are talking about. So this is omega that you are found. Now lambda. Lambda is nothing but, okay, I am going to delete here and we will be writing lambda. You know the formula, which is a relation between frequency and wavelength, which is nothing but nu equals to c by lambda. So from here lambda equals to c upon nu. Okay. Now see, this is c upon nu. So this is 3 into 10 raised to the power 8. Now you are going to put the value of frequency not as 2 into 10 raised to the power 7, but as the value which you have found just now, which is 4 pi into 10 raised to the power 7. So when you are going to put this value, you will be having the value of lambda as 2.39 meter. This is the value of lambda. Now the third thing, which is k. So we know the formula, k is 2 pi upon lambda. So put the value 2 pi upon 2.39. So when you will be putting the value, you will be having the value of k equals to 2.63 meter inverse. This is the value of k. Now if you know these formulas, this one, and the other one which we have used earlier, so the question will become very much easier for you. So we have found all these three things. Now write the expression for electric field. You can easily write the expression because now your Ex omega was found out to be 4 pi into 10 raised to the power 7. Lambda is this, k is this. So now your final expression will be Ex equals to E naught, which is 60, that has been given. Now sine omega t, so 4 pi into 10 raised to the power 7 t minus kx. K is 2.63 into x. This is the final expression for the electric field. Now the B part says we have to find B naught, and we have to write the expression for magnetic field. So this is again an easier part to find the B naught. See, we know that E naught upon B naught is a constant value which is equals to C. We have to find the value of B naught. In the question we have been given the value of E naught, which is 60. So E naught is equals to 60, which is given. So from here B naught equals to E naught upon C. So 60 upon 3 into 10 raised to the power 8. So your B naught will come out to be 2 into 10 raised to the power minus 7 Tesla. This is the value of B naught. Now we have to write the expression for magnetic field also. See, this was the expression for electric field. Now for magnetic field you are having B naught as 2 into 10 raised to the power minus 7. Rest of the terms will remain same, 4 pi into 10 raised to the power 7 t minus 2.63 x. Okay. Now see, we have found the B part also, we are done with this. The C part says that predict the direction of propagation of electromagnetic wave. I told you that direction of propagation of wave is perpendicular to both the electric field and magnetic field. So if electric field is in x direction, magnetic field is in y direction, definitely propagation of wave will be in z direction. Because I told you that the formula to find out, not the formula but basically how can we find out the direction of EM wave? It is E cross B, and when you are going to do E cross B, that will be a z vector. Okay. So on the z axis you will be having the propagation of wave. So okay, we are done with all such questions and we are done with the chapter. So congratulations to you, you are done with the physics for class 12. So just take care and keep practicing a lot, because practice makes a man perfect. If you skip practicing, you will not remain in touch of the physics, and that will be harmful for you. Okay, so take care, thanks a lot.